Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. Second hour kicks off right now on this, I was going to say Friday morning. Thursday morning here. Appreciate you making us a part of your start if you are up and at it here. Coming up this hour, we're going to try out some green and gold here in just a second. We had Tucker Kraft chatting with the media yesterday, giving maybe a little bit of an update on his contract status or his thoughts on staying with the Pack. So we're going to talk some more Brewers throughout this morning. We've got Brewers reporter Hunter Baumgart joining us at 9:15. Brewers off day today, coming off of a series loss against the Athletics. They'll be returning home to take on the Phillies in a 3-game series starting tomorrow. So Hunter will be joining us at around 9:15. What is your Mike's Star Market Am I Wrong sports statements? Send them on over. Best ones we'll read up on the air and share it with the rest of the class. Also, give me your 3 ups and your 3 downs. 3 up and 3 down. All right? Kind of like stock reports out there. So let's kick it off chatting some Pack, shall we? Chatting a little green and gold here. Tucker Kraft. He thinks he's going to be ready for week 1. Thinks he's going to be ready for week 1. He anticipates playing week 1 without a pitch count. Said that he feels better than expected after last year's torn ACL. He says he anticipates starting camp on the PUP list, but he feels like he's going to be ready to go week 1. Kraft is also saying that he wants, big topic of conversation for Tucker Kraft has been his contract status. And he said, quote, "I want to play for this organization my entire career. I'm spoiled to have been drafted here, and this is all I know. Green and gold is all I know. So we'd like to keep it that way. And my agent and the Packers front office, they are going to be in those talks in time when it comes. You guys will find out eventually." He, the quote that he said yesterday, though, each man has to blank up or shut up. I think it's that simple. I don't know if I can say the one word, but just blank up or shut up. Go look it up, and then you probably already see it too. But he's always good for like a one-liner or a good quote or something on there too. But he also said that he won't divulge much about his contract talks. But when asked if he wants a deal before the season, says he wants to be a Packer for the rest of his career. Kind of just what we just said there too. So he also said that he feels like, or he felt like, he was the best tight end in the NFL when he tore his ACL in week 9. So do you think Tucker Kraft is a top 10 tight end in the NFL? Do you feel like he is a top 10 tight end in the NFL? What do you think? Looking at his numbers from last year, before he tore his ACL, I think it was pretty clear that he was on his way to being a Pro Bowl-esque tight end. 6 touchdowns in 8 games. 6 touchdowns. He had 489 yards. He was kind of the yak guy. Yards per reception up 15.3. He was well on his way to having double-digit touchdowns and perhaps even close. I don't know if he would have gotten it, but close to 1,000 yards receiving. Would you put Tucker Kraft in that conversation as a top 10 tight end in the league? Because there are some chats that Tucker Kraft will reset the tight end market. meaning that when that new contract comes out, he might be the highest paid tight end in the league. Now, right now it's George Kittle. If we kind of take a look at it from contract average, this is from Spot Track, listing the top salaries, cap hits, cash earnings, contracts, bonuses for all active 2026 tight end players. George Kittle's $19.1 million. Trey McBride's $19. TJ Hawkinson is $16.5. Kyle Pitts, $15. If we did cap hit, TJ Hawkinson's the highest at $15.6. Total cash, you're looking at Kyle Pitts. This is why, again, when you see these contracts that come out, there's so much more that goes into it in terms of the overall numbers that we see, like the 5 years for $80 million or whatever the case may be. But from a contract value standpoint, George Kittle, $76.4 million. And then Trey McBride, and then TJ Hawkinson, Jake Ferguson's on there with even Cole Kmet. You put those names up there, yeah, I could see why the narrative or the talk out there is that Tucker Kraft is going to reset the tight end market. So when George Kittle signed his latest deal, it was 4 years, $76.4 million with a signing bonus of a little over $18 million. Guaranteed at signing was $33. So total guarantees, you're looking at about $35 million. Yeah, I honestly feel like Tucker Kraft is going to beat that. I feel like he's going to beat that. I feel like he's going to get a 4-year, maybe at minimum, $80 million deal. What did Trey McBride sign? Trey McBride signed a 4-year, $76 million deal. TJ had a 4-year, $66 million deal. Kyle Pitts, well, he signed a 1-year. Yeah, so he's got the 1 year on there. But, yeah, I'm going to say 4 years, $80 million for Tucker Kraft. That's, yeah, around that number. And again, it's not, we can't look at the total value. We got to look at the cap. It's the biggest thing is going to be what's the guaranteed money. So the total guaranteed, the highest is Trey McBride. Trey McBride has the highest guaranteed money at $43 million. Then it's TJ Hawkinson at 40.2, and then George Kittle at 35. I could see it where Tucker Kraft even beats Trey McBride at guaranteed money. So Trey McBride again signed a 4-year, $76 million deal, $43 million guaranteed. I don't think it's really out of the realm of possibility or that far-fetched to say that Tucker Kraft is going to sign a 4-year, $80 million deal with maybe like $44 million guaranteed. Is Tucker Kraft the most, I don't like to use the word important because I think everybody's important, but who do you think is the biggest threat on this Packers offense besides Jordan Love and take away offensive linemen? If you had to build a game plan around one, if you were like an offensive coordinator or the play caller for this Packers team, you're Matt LaFleur, and you're Adam Stanovich, offensive coordinator and such. You're building your game plan, and every once in a while we hear, like even was it 2010, Mike McCarthy. We had heard that they came in and they were building the offense a lot around Jermichael Finley, and then Jermichael Finley got hurt. Saw the rise of Greg Jennings and obviously Jordy Nelson early in his career. They had James Jones and Donald Driver, so they had a lot of other dudes available. But if you had to pick one person between Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft, you throw in Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed, and I feel like Jaden Reed's probably going to finish last on this list. So maybe the better question is, who would you build your passing offense around? Is it Christian Watson? Is it Tucker Kraft? I mean, we could go about this many different ways if we wanted to. But is Tucker Kraft the guy, the main guy that you're building your offense around, kind of like what the Packers wanted to do with Jermichael Finley early on in his career? Is he that type of guy? We know, Travis Kelce during his prime, Colts built their offense going through him. Rob Gronkowski with the Patriots. So, yes, it is 100% possible for teams to build their offenses around tight ends. Tony Gonzalez back in the day. Is Tucker that type of player? Or is it still Christian Watson? Or, running. Let's kind of focus on, let's take Josh Jacobs out of this equation too, just because everybody wants to run the football. Let's just look at some of the pass catchers. So I guess it's boiling down to Watson or Tucker Kraft. Surveyor says, good morning, DK and everyone listening. First, I think Tucker's a top 5 tight end. He's as good as Kittle and McBride. I think he's better than Laporta, Kelce, and Loveland. I personally rank him as the 3rd best in the league. Also, am I wrong for believing that Kraft is the key piece to the offense? And if he doesn't go down, we are playing in the NFC Championship game. Tucker Kraft does a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily get noticed by, I think, a lot of people. He is your 3-down tight end that you can leave in blocking, that you can leave in for passing situations. He can do it all. And that's what makes him more dangerous. Are you going to leave him in line to block? He can squeak out, he can leak out, and then he's open for a pass play, and that's where we've seen a lot of his yak come from. All right, so top 5 tight end. Is Tucker Kraft a top 5? I know I said top 10, but let's move it down to a top 5. Is he a top 5 tight end? Well, this is another number here. The Packers offense produced .17 expected or EPA per play in 2025 when Tucker Kraft was on the field, which would have led the NFL by a wide margin. Patriots and Rams tied for first with .13. Without him, they produced .05 EPA per play, which would have been 10th in the NFL. So, in case anybody's wondering again, what is EPA? Expected points added. It's an advanced analytic. I know not everybody's into it, but it's an advanced analytic that it measures the value of a play by calculating or figuring out how much it increases or decreases a team's likelihood of scoring on a possession. So essentially what it means in a nutshell, felt like that the Packers had a better chance that they were going to score when Tucker Kraft was on the field. Makes sense, doesn't it? When you kind of, just if we take away those advanced numbers, it kind of makes sense. All right, let's take a quick break here. We'll talk some more football, but do you consider Tucker Kraft a top 5 tight end in the league right now? Who are the tight ends that you would take ahead of Tucker Kraft if you were doing, let's say, fantasy football or a draft, or you were building your team? Who's the who are the tight ends that you would take over Tucker Kraft? Maybe that's the best way to say it. Because when we do top 5, then you're like, okay, well, who's in that top 5 with him? All right, let's take a quick break. More football talk coming up after these quick words. Summer puts your vehicle to the test, and at AEGM Automotive, they're ready to help you win that battle. With 2 convenient Eau Claire locations, AEGM Automotive can handle everything from oil changes and inspections to brakes, tires, and major repairs. Before your next road trip, make sure that your vehicle is ready for wherever summer takes you. Trust the team at AEGM Automotive. 2 locations, 1 commitment, keeping you safely on the road all summer long. Just head to AEGMAutomotiveServices.com. Looking at a few of the messages that have come in, it looks like a wide majority of you do say that Tucker Kraft is a top 5 tight end. And honestly, looking at some of the numbers from last year, I think if I were to do this, am I wrong for a Mike Star market? Okay, so I'm kind of feeding off of what Surveyor Sam had texted over here. But am I wrong for thinking that we are going to see Tucker Kraft maybe get a 1,000-yard season at some point in his career? Am I wrong for thinking that? No, I was going to say who's most likely to get the first 1,000, Watson or Tucker? I still might say Tucker, or Watson, excuse me. I still might say it's Watson. Only one tight end last year, though, too, got over 1,000 receiving yards. So, whew. And that was Trey McBride. Even with only playing, if we just look at it from receiving yards, playing in only 8 games, Tucker Kraft finished 22nd in receiving yards from tight ends. For touchdowns, he he should be on this list here too. I don't know. There he is, 8th for 8 or for 6. So think about that, 8 games. I think he easily would have had double-digit tight ends. Or, double-digit touchdowns. Maybe I'll go back on the 1,000 yards. I don't know. I'm having an internal ping-pong volleying back and forth in my head. No, maybe about 800, 900. But the thing that's giving me a little bit of pause on Tucker is his yaks, his yards after catch. That's the one thing that's giving me a little bit of pause. So I might pump the brakes on that one. I know tomorrow's our pump the brakes and full throttle, but I maybe I'll pump the brakes a little bit on that. We've got Zach saying, if I'm the coach, I'm finding ways to get the ball to Kraft. His yak alone speaks for itself. The guy is a playmaker, and I believe he is going to be the best tight end in the league. I think we saw Tucker last year just really starting to scratch the surface. And I know I mentioned this a while ago, but part of me wondered, the way Tucker Kraft was playing last year, if he would have continued, if he would have been able to stay healthy for the rest of the season and continue putting up the numbers on the trajectory that he was, that contract would have been really high. And I thought, okay, now that he got hurt, maybe the Packers ended up saving some money. But I'm kind of backing off on that, to be honest with you. Maybe it changes to where there's some likely to be achieved incentives. Now, that is a thing. There's those likely to be achieved incentives that factor into cap hits. And then there is the, for lack of a better phrase, not likely, that are not factored in. But if that player does hit those incentives and it's on the following year's cap. So maybe there's a little bit more incentives than there would have been just because he's coming off that ACL injury. But yeah, I think I'm backtracking on what I said a couple weeks ago, or even a little bit further than that maybe Green Bay saved a little bit of money with him coming off the ACL, because I think for a lot of these contracts, teams are going to, they give these contracts to players based off of what you're also going to do in the future. Yes, some of it does depend on what you have done in the past and what you are currently doing. Because, I mean, let's be real. It's simple. You're getting a pay raise because of what you've done, but a lot of it is also, okay, we think you're going to continue to do that or maybe even be a little bit better. And I think it's very, very, very important for Goody, for the Packers, the front office, to get this deal done. I think he is really stepping up in that leadership role. I think he is that versatile tight end within his. I don't want to go through another stretch of trying to find a tight end, and maybe every couple of years it's somebody different. You've got a guy that is clearly you're a 3-down tight end in this league that can block and can go out for a pass catch. I kind of view him in the same sense as a prime George Kittle. And there was a lot of people that, for whatever reason, I don't think they really watched a lot or followed along, but there was some national peeps out there that were saying, like, George Kittle can't block. George Kittle can absolutely block. And I just kind of see Tucker in that same type of mold. I mean, look at the Shanahan offense with the 49ers, right? Look how important his role is within that offense. I think we saw it last year, and I think we're going to continue to see it, how Kraft is going to be crucial and critical to the overall offense for this ball club. So I'm really excited to kind of see what Tucker Kraft is going to do this year. And I don't necessarily worry about Tucker Kraft either if he gets a contract before the season, because I'm sure there's going to be some fans out there that be like, oh, then he doesn't really have to, he's got his money. How much is he really going to I don't worry about that with Tucker Kraft. I don't. This is a guy that you're going to get complete. I think this is a guy that he's got the mindset of going out there to be great and to do whatever it takes for his team to win. He said also, too, from yesterday, quote, I thought at the combination of the do-it-all, why, which is me, that there wasn't another guy in the league that was doing it as well as I was. Some people might think I'm delusional to say that, but every play I was either, I don't know, the film is going to speak for itself. Outside zone, inside zone, screen game, down the field. Just as far as putting it all together, I felt like I was in a great spot. Is he the most versatile tight end in this league right now? When you talk about blocking, receiving, outside, inside, lineup, I think he absolutely 100% has a case to say that. I really do. All right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty more to get to, though. We'll be right back after these few words. Summer means road trips, cookouts, and family fun. And Hy-Vee and Eau Claire can help you save every single step of the way. Stock up on groceries, snacks, beverages, and everything you need for summer adventures. Plus, with Hy-Vee Fuel Saver Rewards, the more you shop, the more you can save at the gas pump. So get ready for summer while stretching your budget a little bit further. Hy-Vee and Eau Claire, where there is a helpful smile in every aisle. And don't forget, today at Hy-Vee from 3 to 7 p.m., it's the Say Hello to Summer Local Vendor Fair. So from 3 to 7, you can kick off to Summer Local Vendor Fair, sample food and beverages for 15-plus vendors, 15 or more vendors, and see what Eau Claire has to offer for your perfect Wisconsin summer. That's going on again today at Hy-Vee and Eau Claire from 3 to 7 p.m. Let's tell you what. Let's do our 3 ups and 3 downs. Going to do something new every Thursday called 3 up, 3 down. Kind of like a stock report. 3 things that are up, 3 things that are down in the sports world. Let's start off with 3 up. I mean, you got to start off with the Knicks. That was a pretty epic, historical comeback from the New York Knicks last night. At one point, down 29 points, down 20 in the fourth. The tip in from OG after Jalen Brunson's miss with just a little over a second left to go in the game. It's going to be if the Knicks go on to win this series, that's going to be a play that is going to be constantly thrown, played for years to come. And maybe, if I'm still around and we do a top 300 American sports moments in history, maybe we throw that one in there too. But yeah, you got to go with the Knicks. They're just, I'll be honest, they're playing better in this finals than I thought. In this playoff series overall, these playoffs for the Knicks, they've been just getting playing above expectations, getting the job done. I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's just I thought they were going to be an early out, and then you hear the Mike Brown stuff, and then maybe they're changing a head coach again, but they're playing way above the expectations I thought we were going to see, and you just kind of have to tip your cap to them. This is a huge uphill battle for the Spurs that I don't know if they're going to be able to win the next three. Not the way the Knicks are playing right now. So first up, you got to go with the New York Knickerbockers. Second up, World Cup. I mean, it starts the World Cup, and again, I'm still kind of curious to hear from a lot of you out there if World Cup is appointment viewing for you. It's going to start today. We've got Mexico and South Africa going on at 2:00. How excited? How pumped? How into the World Cup? Besides Surveyor, we know Surveyor's all into this thing. But how big are you into it? Regardless if you're just like a big soccer fan or maybe just a casual fan, it's kind of like the Olympics every 4 years. It comes around and such. But we got to put it up on the 3-up because it's a huge event. It's a huge worldwide event. And it starts today, so World Cup is a part of our 3-up and 3-down. My final 3-up, Patrick Mahomes' bank account. Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs giving him 2 more years on his deal, and it'll bring that total to a little over $500 million, making it the first NFL deal valued at over $500 million. Kansas City is adding those 2 years to his reworked contract, with the new money being worth $239.05 million, and the total value coming out to $504.75 million. $500 million. With the new money included, Mahomes' average annual value will reach $64 million beginning in 2027, a $19 million per year raise that will push him past Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and set a new record for the highest average salary per year in NFL history. Yeesh. Yeah. That's some serious moolah, some serious dough. So, of course, that's Patrick Mahomes' bank account. Big-time riser. Big time. Top 3. So let's do some downs. My 3 downs. I mentioned a little bit about Spurs. This is a really disappointing performance from the Spurs in these finals. I mean, they are just like this close from not being swept, really, when you kind of look at it. And I know they were in a tough series against the Thunder, and you kind of wonder, did that series take a lot out of them? Going up against the Thunder, 7 games. The Knicks, I mean, they were on cruise control for the majority of these playoffs. A rest, is the rest the thing that's kind of carrying them and helping them through these playoffs. But it's been disappointing watching the Spurs. I mean, you had Victor Wembanyama on the stage, on NBA Final stage, and other younger guys and such. So, yeah, you got to go Spurs for down. And, of course, down this week, college football. The whole Texas Tech situation, it's just, yeah. And you had the Texas Tech AD, we talked about it yesterday, coming out with a statement and with the whole Sorsby situation. But I just, This is bad. This isn't good. This is not a good look whatsoever when it comes to college football. And I don't know what's going to happen. I guess I still have some doubts whether Sorsby's going to play this year. I still kind of feel like if I were, and I could be completely wrong. I don't know if we're going to see him play. I still have my doubts on that. Could be completely wrong. I didn't think we'd get to this point. I didn't think that, a court would actually reverse it and make him eligible to play, but here we are. But it's not a good look right now for college football. My final down for this week, I'm probably going to go, I went back and forth between a couple. I'll go with some of the injuries starting to rack up here for the Brewers, specifically coming from their pitching department. Now, hopefully Brandon Woodruff's coming back soon. Hopefully Logan Henderson, a lot of those guys. But Brewers pitching, specifically maybe in the bullpen, they've taken a little bit of a hit with the injury. So that's my final down for this week. 3 up, 3 down for the last week, going back to last Thursday. All right, we got to take a quick break. Coming up next hour, we'll continue our 250 countdown. It is also a Mike's Star Market, Am I Wrong? And I know I threw one out there. I want to throw another one out coming up here in just a little bit, and it's Christian Watson related. I had read something, and I don't know if I agree with it, and I need, maybe you to tell me if I'm wrong or not. So we'll take a quick break and be back to wrap up the second hour coming up after these few words. Believe it or not, hunting season preparation starts right now, peeps, and there is no better place to gear up than Tilden Gun in Chippewa Falls. Whether you are looking to upgrade your deer rifle, pick up a new turkey shotgun, or add a dependable shotgun for trap, sporting clays, or target shooting, Tilden Gun has a wide selection of firearms from the brands that you know and trust. Their knowledgeable staff can help you find the perfect fit for your hunting style, experience level, and budget. Plus, you will find ammunition, accessories, optics, and more to help you get the most out of every trip to the range or into the field. Don't wait until the season is right around the corner. Get prepared now and shoot with confidence later. Stop by Tilden Gun in Chippewa Falls and see why sportsmen and shooting enthusiasts throughout the Chippewa Valley trust Tilden Gun for all of their firearm needs. Continue a little bit with our Mike's Star Market, Am I Wrong? As I was reading this earlier this morning, and CBS Sports put out a post, one under-the-radar breakout candidate for every NFC team entering 2026. Under-the-radar breakout star. Breakout star candidate. And the Packers pick was Christian Watson. Says here, the Packers are certainly expecting a star turn for Christian Watson, judging by the 4-year, $110.5 million extension the talented game-breaking wide receiver got last week. Watson has never surpassed 41 catches or 620 receiving yards in a season, and he has an injury history, but the Packers have cleared the way for him to break out, seemingly always rotating their wide receivers. Green Bay let Romeo Doubs leave in free agency and traded away Dontavian Wicks. Watson's 2.54 yards per route run in 2025 was 6th out of 293 players who ran at least 100 routes. If he carries that efficiency into a larger role, he is a surefire star. I get why they picked him. I don't know if I like the word breakout, though, in front of it. Am I wrong? I don't know if breakout is the right word to describe this for Christian Watson. Again, I get you add in star, so maybe I'm nitpicking this just a little bit, and honestly, I'm probably nitpicking this. But I guess when you put breakout in front of something, I'm thinking about, under the radar type of player. And I don't consider Christian Watson an under the radar player. I don't consider him that, even regardless of, numbers and statistics. Anybody who has watched Packers football over the last couple of years with Christian Watson knows he's not an under-the-radar player. And the teams that go up against Green Bay, I think it was Ben Johnson that last year, or some other coach talked about how different the offense is and, your game plan for Christian Watson. So I don't like the word breakout. Now, you put star in there, it's like, okay, maybe future star, potential star. I guess when I think about a breakout player for Green, I might go almost a little Edgerrin Cooper for breakout star candidate for Green Bay, entering his third year now. I think he's got all the talent in the world. His rookie year made a lot of good plays. Last year, his sophomore year, was solid. But I think if am I wrong to change that pick and say I think a breakout star candidate is Edgerrin Cooper? That's who I'm going to go with, because I don't think I would put Christian Watson as like breakout candidate. And I don't know. I could go back and forth on this thing, but if I had to pick one of anybody else, am I wrong for picking Edgerrin Cooper? I just feel with Edgerrin Cooper, now paired up with Zaire Franklin, I'm really curious to see the type of role that Edgerrin Cooper is going to have in this Jonathan Gannon defense. When we look at Cooper's first 2 years, his rookie year, he played in 14 games. He had 3.5 sacks. Last year, he just had a half a sack in 16 games. Had 118 tackles. I think you got to get Edgerrin Cooper involved maybe a little bit more in getting after the quarterback, especially the first 2 games of the season with no Micah Parsons. I think Cooper has that ability to be that guy. So I think year 3 we're going to see some special things from Edgerrin Cooper. And the thing is too, like even in those 14 games in his rookie year, the biggest thing was his TFLs, his tackles for loss. He had 13 tackles for loss and 7 quarterback hits in 14 games played in his rookie year, and he started just 4 of those. 16 games last year, starting every single game, he had just 4 tackles for loss and 3 quarterback hits. I want to see Edgerrin Cooper maybe a little bit more towards the line of scrimmage, playing around the line of scrimmage, helping out in the run game. I thought his rookie year he might have been the best at reading and reacting to the ball carrier. There was so many plays from his rookie year. There was an Aaron Jones play when they were playing the Vikings. It looked like Aaron Jones had room to run, and then all of a sudden, Edgerrin Cooper just flies in there and takes him down. And you could see the frustration from Aaron Jones because I think he thought the same thing, that this was going to be some big pickup from a yard standpoint for him, and then Cooper just flew in and took him down, reading and reacting and filling those holes. So I'm looking for year 3 as breakout year for me. If I had to pick a breakout player, breakout star, future star for Green Bay, am I wrong for thinking it's Edgerrin Cooper? That's who I'm going to roll with. If he takes a jump this year in year 3, another jump, and solidifies himself as one of the better linebackers in this game, then Green Bay's going to have to shell out some money for him too, because that's going to be coming up here pretty darn quick. All right, shot clock is going to cut me off here in just a couple minutes. So as we approach halftime, coming up next hour, we'll get back to some more baseball talk as the Crew falling to the A's last night. They dropped the series to the A's. Off day today for the Brewers. We'll get back to some more baseball talk. We've got Hunter Baumgart joining us, Brewers reporter at 9:15, so we'll talk Brewers with him. Also coming up next hour, though, we'll continue our 250 countdown, the next group of 10. And for this morning, we're going to focus on athletes. We'll focus on athletes. We got a bunch more to get to, so we'll hammer out 10 more athletes in our 250th countdown. So that's coming up next hour as well. Plus, whatever else is on your mind, you can join in on the Section 105 chat or on the Shoe Doctors bullpen line. So, reminder, there is no outdoor chat with Jake, no tailgate outdoors with DNR warden Jake Boakes this morning. He is off and fishing up in Canada. So, if you had any questions for Jake and such, you'll have to save them for next week when we catch up to him. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut me off. We'll take a quick news break, and then we'll kick off the next hour. We'll talk some baseball and continue our 250th countdown, the top 250 sports moments, people, things in American history. We're going to focus on athletes here for this one. So